Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I am Malik Abdishkur and today we are going to discuss a lesson from English poetry. Before going to specific lesson, I would like to ask you a few general questions about poetry. The first question is, what does a poet say? What does a poet say? Or I can rephrase my question and that meaning would be the same. What is the major content of the poetry? Or what does a poet say? And you all know that a poet expresses his feelings. As far as Wordsworth is concerned, the poet which we are gonna study today, according to him, poetry is spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings. So, a poet expresses feelings. And what sort of feelings those are? Usually you have been told so many times in class that basically a poet talks about love. For a mystic, it can be love of God. For many of us, it can be love of Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Many naats we listen to, those are due to love of Prophet. Similarly, national songs, love of country, love of motherland, and then there is conventional love as well. So basically, it is love and beauty. So most oftenly, a poet talks about love and beauty, and the major content of poetry is feelings, spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings. So we have summed it up that the major content of the poetry is feelings. Now, remember, feelings, love, beauty, all of these are abstract in nature. They have got no image. They are abstract in nature. Now I would like to ask you a second question, and that is, if the content of poetry is based on feelings, what is the style based on? What is the major thing in the style of poetry? And once again, so many times we have discussed it in class, and I would like to remind you of that the major thing in the style of a poet is imagery. A poet does with words what a painter does with brush. What does he do? He paints pictures. So, painting word pictures, this is the major thing in the style of poetry. So whenever we discuss poetry, two major things to be done are, first thing, in the content we need to see that what are the major feelings described by the poet. And in style, we need to make mental images. We need to make mental images of the things which a poet presents, because he presents through painting pictures. So we need to understand those pictures. So these would be our target areas today that we would be discussing when we would be discussing one of the most representative poems of William Wordsworth, and the title is "The World is Too Much with Us." So first of all, our two major areas would be, what feelings does he describe, and the second thing, how does he use imagery? How does he beautify those feelings? So let's see. And another thing which I would like to do is, that is one of the preliminary things, and that is discussing the form of that poetry. Before starting this specific one, what is the title? The world is too much with us. I would like to discuss its form. And you can see, and as far as students of first year are concerned, beta, go to page number 94 of your book. It is on page number 94. So you can see it here as well on the board, and you can see it there. You need to have your books in front of you because you need to underline a few new words, and you need to write meanings of those words. So first of all, I would like to discuss its form. Now, as you can see, this is a 14-line poem. So what is a 14-line poem? You have already studied a few 14-line poems, and you all know that a 14-line poem is called, a 14-line poem is called sonnet. What else? What do we call it? We call it a sonnet. Sonnet is a 14 lines poem. Okay. So there are first, look here, there are first 8 lines and then there are 6 lines. So sonnet is usually of 2 major kinds. One is called Italian or Petrarchan sonnet, and one is called Shakespearean or English sonnet. Which sonnet is it? It is Italian or Petrarchan sonnet. Why? Because it has got an octave, 8 lines, and then it has got a sestet, 6 lines. An Italian sonnet has an octave in the beginning, and then it has got a sestet. And what is its major difference with Shakespearean sonnet or English sonnet? English sonnet or Shakespearean sonnet, those sonnets have 3 quatrains and then a couplet. So this is, first of all, we have discussed its form. This is an Italian or Petrarchan sonnet because it has got an octave, 8 lines, and then a sestet, 6 lines. Okay. So after discussing its form, let me discuss its rhyme scheme with you. So first of all, let's see what rhyme scheme does it have. So first word is soon. So let us say it is A. Then the second word is powers, and it is B. The third word is hours. Once again it is B. The fourth word is boon, soon and boon. So it is soon, boon, A. And powers and hours, both are the same sounds. So rhyme, you already know what is rhyme. What is rhyme? When the last syllable is same. When the ending sound of the last syllable is same, it is called rhyme. When the ending sound of last syllable is same, it is called rhyme. And hours and hours. So A, B, B, A. Now once again see moon. So it is similar to the sound of soon, So once again it is A, and hours, B, flowers, B, and tomb, once again it is A. Now this sound, rather B, this is a new sound, this is C. Outworn, B, Lee, and B. So it is once again C. Forlorn, outworn and forlorn, it is D. C, Lee, B, once again it is C. And on, forlorn, on, wreathed on, so once again it is D. So what is the rhyming scheme? A, B, B, A, B, B, A, C, D, C, D, C, D. So this is the rhyming scheme of this sonnet. Now after discussing the form and rhyme scheme of this sonnet, let me go to the next thing. Our next step would be to clarify its images. And how do we do that? How are we going to do that? First of all, I would be translating it for you, and then I would be explaining it to you in Urdu, and then I would do it quatrain by quatrain. I would be doing it in English so that you do understand the content of the poetry as well as the style of the poetry. This is, once again, let me begin with saying that this is one of the most representative poems of William Wordsworth. So first thing, let us see the title. The world is too much with us. So what is he saying? And what is the title symbolic of? The world is too much with us. If you want me to translate it in Urdu, the world is too much with us. दुनिया बहुत ज्यादा हमारे साथ है. दुनिया बहुत ज्यादा हमारे साथ है. तो जो हमने पहले बात की कि a poet expresses feelings, तो कौन सी feelings? Does he express his love for some person, some place? What? You all know, you have already studied daffodils in grade 9, so you all know that Wordsworth is poet of nature. William Wordsworth is poet of nature. So when he says the world is too much with us, what does he mean? दुनिया बहुत ज्यादा हमारे साथ है. अब ये तो उसका तर्जमा है, दुनिया बहुत ज्यादा. कौन सी दुनिया? मादी दुनिया की बात है. ब्रैकेट में क्या लिखेंगे? मादी. दुनिया बहुत ज्यादा हमारे साथ है, यानी मादी दिन दुनिया बहुत ज्यादा हमारे साथ है. मादी दुनिया ने हमें बहुत ज्यादा घेर लिया है, बहुत ज्यादा जकड़ लिया है. अच्छा, क्यों ये वो कह रहा है? शायद उसका ज़हन ये हो कि भाई मादी दुनिया में हमें इतना इन्वॉल्व नहीं होना चाहिए था, तो और हमें किसके करीब जाना चाहिए था? आपको पता है वो पोएट ऑफ नेचर है, तो वो क्या चाहता है कि हम नेचर के करीब जाएं. तो पहला जुमला, द वर्ल्ड इज टू मच विद अस. दुनिया बहुत ज्यादा हमारे साथ है. We have got ourselves too much involved with this world. अच्छा, दुनिया बहुत ज्यादा हमारे साथ है. Late and soon, देर सवेर. Late and soon, what does it mean in Urdu? देर सवेर. देर सवेर. अब ये देर सवेर जो है ना, एक तस्वीर है, इसको स्टाइल में समझना है. ये इमेज है. देर सवेर, देर तक. सुबह सवेरे, देर सवेर. तो सुबह उठते ही रात देर तक क्या करते हैं? गेटिंग एंड स्पेंडिंग. एक दफा फिर एक तस्वीर है, पहले उर्दू ट्रांसलेशन, फिर उसको डिस्कस करते हैं. गेटिंग एंड स्पेंडिंग, कमाते हुए और खर्च करते हुए. मैंने गेटिंग का तर्जमा किया है उर्दू में कमाते हुए. गेटिंग व्हाट? गेटिंग मनी. तो गेटिंग मनी मीन्स कमाते हुए. उर्दू में हमें इसे कैसे ट्रांसलेट करना चाहिए? कमाते हुए और स्पेंडिंग. स्पेंडिंग व्हाट? स्पेंडिंग मनी. तो हम क्या करते हैं? देर सवेर कमाते हुए और खर्च करते हुए वी ले वेस्ट आवर पावर्स. हम अपनी तवानाइयां जाया कर रहे हैं. हम अपनी तवानाइयां जाया कर रहे हैं. अच्छा, ये तो लफ्जी माने हैं. हमने इसे समझना है कि इमेजेस क्या है. लेट एंड सून, देर तक रात. सून, सुबह उठते ही सवेरे से क्या करते हैं हम? गेटिंग. ईदर वी आर ट्राइंग टू अर्न मनी एंड स्पेंडिंग, and then we spend that money to get something material. क्या करते हैं हम भाई? देर सवेर हम पैसे कमाने में, कमाते हुए और खर्च करने में we lay waste our powers. हम अपनी ताकत जाया कर रहे हैं. अच्छा, main thesis has been presented by Wordsworth. यहाँ ही main thesis जो है, theme जो है, उसने present कर दिया है. क्या थी? The world is too much with us. We have got ourselves too much involved with this world, with this material world. अच्छा, ये too much को थोड़ा सा मैं explain करना चाहूँगा. The world is with us. अगर वो ये कहता हो the world is too much with us, ये उसने कहा, what is the difference? भाई, being a practical person, he knows that we have got to involve ourselves with the world, and he has got no problem when we involve ourselves with the world, but the problem lies in the fact that we have got ourselves too much involved in this world. We have got ourselves involved in this world more than needed. जरूरत से ज्यादा हमने अपने आप को दुनिया में इन्वॉल्व कर दिया है. दुनिया में क्या हुआ? For getting material gains. Let it soon. There's a till from morning till late night, getting and spending. We either try to earn money or we go there and try to have different material things by spending that money. We waste our powers. हम अपनी तवानाई इससे जाया कर रहे हैं. Once again, ये क्या बात है ये पावर्स? इसकी भी एक्सप्लेनेशन चाहिए थोड़ी सी. भाई पावर्स जो है ना, कौन सी पावर्स है हमारे पास? वर्ड्सवर्थ का ख्याल ये था कि we have got immense potential. We have got immense potential. What is that immense potential? हम सिर्फ मादी दुनिया के लिए नहीं बने. हमारे अंदर भी एक साइड है और वो साइड जो है वो फीलिंग्स रखती है और वो स्पिरिट रखती है. तो हमारी एक इनर वर्ल्ड है और उस वर्ल्ड में कुछ चीजें हैं जो हमारी इनर वर्ल्ड है, जो हमारा हार्ट और स्पिरिट है, वो बनी है फॉर लव ऑफ नेचर. द डिमांड ऑफ आवर इनर वर्ल्ड इज लव ऑफ नेचर. हमारी जो इनर वर्ल्ड है यानी हमारा जो दिल है या रूह है, हम अपने जिस्म के कंफर्ट के लिए जो चीजें इस्तेमाल करते हैं वो है मटेरियल चीजें. लेकिन हमारी जो इनर वर्ल्ड है वो उसकी सेटिस्फेक्शन या फुलफिलमेंट नहीं आनी जब तक हमारे पास क्या ना हो, लव ऑफ नेचर ना हो. तो वर्ड्सवर्थ क्या कहना चाहता है? वो ये कहना चाहता है कि हम अपने आप को सिर्फ मटेरियल गेन्स तक महदूद करके हम अपनी इनर वर्ल्ड से कनेक्शन खो रहे हैं. हम नेचर से कनेक्शन खो रहे हैं. हमारी इनर वर्ल्ड की, हमारी हार्ट एंड सोल जो है, their satisfaction lies in love of nature. Material comfort is not good enough to satisfy our inner world. That would satisfy our outer world but not our inner world. Our inner world is more connected to nature. It should be more connected to nature. If we would lose connection with nature, we would deprive our inner world of that pleasure, of that comfort which it demands. तो भी अब दोबारा से मैं ये लाइन जो है उर्दू में भी आपको एक दफा फिर बताता हूँ और फिर इंग्लिश में भी हम इसको समझने की कोशिश करते हैं. The world is too much with us, let it soon. दुनिया बहुत ज्यादा हमारे साथ है. देर समय getting and spending we lay waste our powers. कमाते हुए और खर्च करते हुए हम अपनी तवानाइयां जाया कर रहे हैं. Wordsworth, the tone of this poem is, it's a dejected tone. It's a sad tone. It's a distressed tone. Wordsworth is sad, he is dejected. Why? Because he thinks that we have got ourselves too much involved in this material world. And all our life and all the time, from early morning till late night, we are either involved in earning money or we are spending money to have material comfort, but we are wasting our inner world, our powers, we are wasting our immense potential because we were gifted with an inner world as well, and that inner world had got this, this nature is spiritual abode of our soul. So by connecting too much with this outer world, we have disconnected with nature, and by disconnecting with nature, we have disconnected with our inner world, with our pleasure, with our solace as well. Little we see in nature that is ours. Little we see in nature. हमें बहुत कम दिखता है फितरत में that is ours, जो कि हमारे लिए है। अब इससे क्या मुराद है? इससे मुराद ये है कि हम सिर्फ जो है मटेरियल गेन्स की तरफ देखने की वजह से हम वो कैपेसिटी खो चुके हैं नेचर को अप्रिशिएट करने की, जो हमारे लिए थी मुराद हमारे अंदर की फुलफिलमेंट के लिए थी, हमारे अंदर के पीस और प्लेयर के लिए थी। लिटिल वी सी, अब इंग्लिश में हम इसको कैसे एक्सप्लेन करेंगे? लिटिल वी सी इन नेचर, we have lost capacity to appreciate the beauty of nature. That is all. In fact, nature is something which was made for us. This was made for our complete fulfillment, for our complete satisfaction. But we have lost connection with nature and we have lost the capacity. Little we see in nature, we have lost the capacity to appreciate the world of nature. And that is all. In fact, that was meant to provide us inner pleasure, peace, solace, fulfillment. I would use the word fulfillment for it. Our fulfillment was only possible if, or is only possible. Our fulfillment is only possible if we stay connected to nature. So it is about fulfillment. We cannot have this fulfillment by getting too much connected with material world. We have given our hearts away. हमने अपना दिल बेच दिया है, हम अपना दिल बेच चुके हैं। A sordid boon, और ये तो बहुत ही sordid boon, ये एक बहुत ही घटिया सौदा है, घटिया मुनाफा है, एक बहुत गंदा मुनाफा है। सॉर्डेड के मानी होते हैं, अब इंग्लिश में अगर मैं इसको आप थोड़ा सा एक्सप्लेनेशन पे अगर हम जाएं, वी हैव गिवन आवर हार्ट्स अवे, तो पहले इस लाइन को एक्सप्लेन करते हैं। वी हैव गिवन आवर हार्ट्स अवे, हम अपना दिल बेच आए हैं। क्या मतलब? वी हैव सैक्रिफाइस्ड आवर इनर वर्ल्ड, वी हैव सैक्रिफाइस्ड द वर्ल्ड ऑफ आवर हार्ट, वी हैव सैक्रिफाइस्ड आवर फीलिंग्स। हार्ट स्टैंड्स फॉर फीलिंग्स एंड इनर वर्ल्ड स्टैंड्स for soul as well. We have sold out the world of our heart, we have sold out our emotions, we have sold out our spiritual pleasure, we have sold out the pleasure of our heart, the peace of our heart for what? For definitely for material gains, he has already explained. And what does he call it? He calls it a sordid boon. In terms of style, what is this sordid boon? This is oxymoron. This sordid boon is oxymoron. And what is an oxymoron? Oxymoron is a figure of speech when we use two contradictory words together. Sordid is something negative and boon is something positive. Boon means blessing. Apparently there is a blessing. What? Apparently earning this world, earning material gains, connecting too much with material gains apparently looks very beneficial to us. So apparently we think it is a blessing, but this blessing is very much sordid. Sordid means vile, dirty. ये blessing तो बड़ी dirty blessing है, vile blessing है. It's a very sordid boon. It's a very dirty advantage. बड़ा घटिया सौदा है ये. बज़ाहिर लगता है मुनाफा है, लेकिन किसके बदले है? We have given our hearts away. ये तो हमने अपना दिल बेच के ये मुनाफा खरीदा है. हमने दुनिया खरीदी है दिल बेच के, यानी दिल हमारा क्या था? उसके नजदीक दिल हमारा फितरत से मोहब्बत थी। हमारी रूहानियत क्या थी? वो थी फितरत से मोहब्बत। जब हमने दिल बेच दिया, यानी फितरत की मोहब्बत बेच दी और उसके बदले हमने दुनिया कमाई, तो वो इस कमाई को क्या कहता है? ए सॉर्डेड बूम। ये तो बड़ा घटिया मुनाफा है, ये तो बड़ा गंदा मुनाफा है। ए सॉर्डेड बूम। तो oxymoron. What is this figure of? This is a positive connotation. This gives positive meaning, blessing. But this is sordid, very dirty. This is a very mean bargain. This is a very dirty blessing, or this is a very mean bargain. Now we are done with the first quadrant, and I would like to explain to you once again. This is the first quadrant in which the major thesis has been presented. In a dejected tone, he has presented his major thesis, and major thesis means theme as well. Major thesis or theme has been presented. What is the theme of this poem? The theme of this poem is in first four lines it has been presented. The theme of this poem is that we have got ourselves too much involved in this world to have its physical comfort, to have material gains, and all the time, too much involvement in this world. This is the problem. This is a great problem for Wordsworth, and this is the impact of why do we involve ourselves too much. So he is also describing the impact of industrialization. So this was in 1807. This poem was written in 1807. So already industrialization had a huge impact on the life. And what was that impact? That people had got too much involved in physical world. They were too much involved and too much busy in making material gains, and then they had lost connection with the world of nature. So this is theme of this poem.